Working towards shared interest in the global arena is one of the key pillars of the Africa-EU agenda. Reaching political consensus and coordination of negotiations processes is not an easy task for both parties. Despite mutual efforts to find win-win solutions for mutual prosperity, a number of critical issues remain on the table. What are the possibilities and limits of alliance building in a multipolar world? How and when can Africa and Europe pursue common goals in the global arena?
I think it means a lot if all progressive forces from each our perspective try to push things forward in the same direction. There, I think we saw already at the African COP in South Africa and Durban 2 years ago that makes a difference if we do this jointly or if each of us fight for ourselves. So I think we should continue that very, very strong cooperation we had in Durban. That would be very much needed for the world in the run-up to Paris.
Well, it's a very long-standing partnership and with a lot of historical roots. So it is important is to realize that we are living a different moment in Africa. It's not just about the Africa Rising narrative, it's also about Africa taking in its own hands a number of development processes that until now were not completely owned. And I think it is very important for the partnership to have vigor, to be robust by starting to recognize this change.
Yes, indeed, it's possible for Africa and the EU to work together to ensure that we promote an equitable, a balanced world, a world that serves the development needs of humanity. So as Africa, we are ready to engage in a mutually beneficial, a mutually reinforcing partnership with the EU. And we regard the forthcoming summit that will be held in Africa between Africa and the EU as the platform that will provide that framework for cooperation between Africa and the EU.
So they have to still define their common interest, but there is going to be areas that both Europe and Africa are facing similarly. Climate change is one of those. So I think Europe will have opportunities to work closely with Africa as well as Africa with Europe on resilience, for example, on some of the technologies that Europe has, for example, solar and wind power, clean energy. These are the issues that are clearly win-win for both Europe and for Africa.
L'Afrique et l'Union européenne ne peuvent pas évidemment s'entendre sur tout, ne peuvent pas avoir des positions communes sur tout, mais tant qu'il y aura une passerelle, les deux pays, les deux parties ont également, en raison de leur passé commun, beaucoup plus d'affinité pour faire évoluer l'agenda international. Et c'est sur ça, sur ce qui nous unit plutôt que sur ce qui nous divise qu'il faudra beaucoup travailler à l'avenir, j'estime.